one of the big key entries for resilience. So if we have a good urban development strategy, which is resilient, we have done a lot. And that's why here I give you a small insight, as there are many cities. We said, okay, we maybe make you already interested. This is more the module 2, but with you, we would like again to explore a little bit on what we have defined here as lines for strategy. So our module 2 is looking into the foundations of resilient action. So where is your starting point as local government? Where are you financially? Where is your competences? Where are your resources and your actors? And then we look into this diversity of the resilience strategies. So the social resilience and cultural and local economic development. This is one strategy. And I think when we look into the group work, we have also here, for example, from Makati, Joyce, she makes a lot of social points, and the social resilience can be an entrance point for many mayors. I think in Philippines it is quite frequent. The next point would be urban resilience. This is what do you do with your land? What do you do with your infrastructure, your transport system? How is this all connected? And the next would be the regional and ecological resilience. So this is a little bit what we call nature-based solutions. So how can we plan with the environment, and the environment involve it into the vision and in the long-term goals of the strategies? And finally, enhancing preparedness for effective response and building back better at local level. A little bit the origins of the DRR, disaster risk reduction. When we look at the strategies, we have these steps in each strategy. So when you think about a strategy, you have a mayor or a city planner or a head of department. Okay, where are we? So we assess and prioritize. We look into the assessment. Helmi was giving these insights on the different assessment tools that are available. You can look at the city systems, you can look at the governance, you can look at the financial resources and the cost of inaction. Then the next step, and this is a step which is usually for people like you, you might get this task to program and plan. So you have to see, okay, how can we start to increase social and public health resilience? What would be urban development, land use, protecting ecosystem, effective response, building back better? What I just said is module 2 about. So this program and planning are the different entrance points, and where you say, okay, this is what I need to achieve, and this would be possible projects or possible programs and processes. And then finally, of course, how you do it and what are the activities coming up. If we look at the resilient system of cities, we can see that, of course, nobody is the same. Here we have participants from big cities, from metros, from small cities, from intermediary cities, or even from rural. So it depends the city, the size of the city, the problems are different. For example, in an intermediary cities and rural, I think when we yesterday looked to the vegan result, the environment is quite determined, the nature is quite determined, while in a metro it's not the same. You already have very limited places and for green infrastructure, which is usually now coming up, and people might care more, but it is a very built up area. And the peripheral cities, which is a little bit in the larger areas of metropolitan, for example, in Makati, you are surrounded by many peripheral cities. they go for a lot of change because they maybe had in the beginning a lot of informal housing. People came to look at the metro and live there and were accumulating in informal settlements, and now become slowly part and puzzle of the metropolis. And so the challenges are very different. Your clusters are different, and I think that makes that every strategy is unique. And this is to close. Yesterday, I told you, remember the future is here. This is one of the graphics we use in module 2, but I think the game now, which we did when we look in 2020, from the perspective of 2100, we look at the past and say, oh my God, why did we do this? But it is a decision. Every decade had its decision. We had worldwide, or we are still in a fossil economy. We have an expansive urbanization, industrialization, unlimited growth, top-down governance, climate emergency, and where are we going to and how do we get there? So the responsible growth, the structural sustainability, green and blue economies, all this will only be possible if we link it to our culture, to our particular situation where we are in. So if we look into your region, what does it mean? For example, in Jakarta, they have done a strategy. This pack of how do I do my strategy is quite thick, and now we have to see the actions. But the main pillars of the strategies, they name it the well-prepared Jakarta. So focus on how the city gets ready in the events of shocks and stress. This is, of course, awareness raising, prepare, do proceedings. The healthy Jakarta, creating a healthier environment through better water, wastewater, and waste management. Here you can see this healthy Jakarta is what we would say here is a resilience strategy anchored. They look a lot on the health. And finally, the connected Jakarta, the focus on enhancing the connectivity for the people to do their daily routines. And this is, of course, one of the priority of Jakarta, probably with resilience or without resilience, they come to this because it is a place where connectivity is really critical to survive. And in a resilience strategy, of course, this usual priority will all come up. So if your city has suffered a lack of public transport connectivity and density not fitting together, this will come up in the resilience strategy.